Hey gang, Tony here. Making a video the day after making a video, which is super weird for me these days. I have something that I want to, I actually have a few things that I want to go over today, which is also kind of weird. I haven't had stuff I've wanted to talk about on camera besides like flea market finds in a while. But the very first thing I want to mention and show off and promote a little bit is this package right here. And I haven't opened it yet, but I want to show you as I open it. And also just kind of give Todd Keisling a shout out and say, man, he's got this new book out, Sundowner's Dance. It has been doing extremely well, and I want it to keep doing well. So you guys need to go over to Shortwave Books, Shortwave Publishing. I think Amazon also has it. It should. And buy one of these books. I'm not threatening you. That's not what this is. This is for the package. Don't worry. I did read this previously, but the version I read was like a beta draft or a first draft, and it has changed a lot since I have last read it. In fact, it must have changed quite a bit because the version I read was novella length-ish, and this package is a lot thicker than I thought the book was, to be honest. I didn't notice how much he had added to it. But yeah, so I am just opening this up. Do I need a knife? Maybe I don't need a knife. I don't want to screw anything up in there. Let me move that a bit so you don't have to listen to lots of loud ripping and tearing sounds. You know what? I am going to knock that knife in there right there. That'll make it a little bit easier. There we go. So yeah, I've been seeing pictures of it. It took me a while to order, but I finally got my order in. Oh, I see. There's a box in there. That's why it's so big. Okay. Awesome. That's a really cool box. Neato. Find your next great read at Shortwave Publishing. Aha. Aha. I love this cover. It's such an absolutely amazing cover. I think when Todd was when he first got the cover and was showing it to us, I mentioned how it reminded me of the opening scene of The Burbs, when the camera's sort of like coming down from space, essentially, to kind of focus in on this little suburban town. And it really gave me those vibes, and I think really works as well for like fitting the themes of the novel and everything. I have to get Todd to sign this for me next time I see him. Although, they still have these. I wasn't sure if it would come with it, but they do. For as long as they're available, you actually do get a signed book plate with this, which is really awesome. But Todd and I are friends, so I'm going to hassle him for another autograph. I want him to personalize this book, as he does with every book that I get from him. This is also very cool. I'm going to go out on a limb and assume you do not get this if you order on Amazon. Definitely not the book plates, but probably not this either. It's a brochure for the Fairview Acres Community Association. I'm not going to spoil anything, but it does have to do with the book. So that's very cool. I don't remember if Todd had these. Todd probably designed these and had them made up for the release, unless Shortwave did it. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. But that's very cool. It opens up, has some information and stuff in there. I'm not gonna spoil that for you either. So yes, although I have read a version of this, I have not read this version, and I cannot wait to dig back into. There's Todd right there. Can't wait to dig back into this because it's a hell of a lot of fun, this book. Go get yourself a copy, people. All right, so that's one thing. Next thing is this company for writers, for artists, for anyone who's like, has a business, I guess, but essentially they'll like send out physical letters to people who subscribe. And the whole, it kind of works like Patreon, it seems like, where you as a creator go to this site, StampFans, and you create your I don't know what to call it, your Patreon sort of thing, and people sign up for it and they pay whatever you can set, like your monthly whatever your monthly payment is, and they then get letters from you, but you don't have to send them out. That's kind of the benefit of using StampFans, is that you create your booklets, your postcards, your letters, and you send PDFs of that to StampFans, and then StampFans, the company, sends out your letters, your booklets, your postcards to the people who subscribe. I am not sure yet if I want to do it, because I do already send out a physical newsletter to my patrons in Patreon, and they're already paying to get that through Patreon. So, you know, I'm not entirely sure how I would make that work for me. But for others, you know, and this is why I'm mentioning it, for others, you may find that this is beneficial, something that you could do. So what this is, you could actually go to StampFans and request a free letter to see what it's going to look like when you're I don't know what to call it, your patrons, when the people who sign up to your newsletter, what they're going to get, what it's going to look like. So that's what this is. I imagine it on the inside here probably just has a bunch of promotional stuff for the company and kind of explaining, you know, what they do, and gives you some stuff to see like how it'll look when people get it. So I'm not going to read all of this to you or anything, but I wanted to show you like what was inside there, get a feel for like the card stock of the letters, I guess. There's one thing there. So like a sample newsletter kind of thing. And then that has my address on it. Right, yeah, it's like a sample newsletter. And it kind of goes through. I'm assuming that if you send away for this, it's the same thing that everyone gets. Double-sided. Lots of stuff there. I'll read it. Go through it on my own. I thought I'd mention it since it was sitting here with the other mail that I just got, to see if it was something that my fellow writers and creators were interested in checking out. Let me know if you do it. I'm not being paid to talk about this. I'm not an affiliate. This channel isn't even monetized. This is truly and honestly just something that over in one of my writing communities, they mentioned it, and I checked it out, and I thought I'd mention it. The last thing I want to show you is also pretty cool. It's for us nostalgia nerds, so not necessarily a horror thing, but this popped up in my Twitter feed from a video game designer who sends out like a lot of retro stuff all the time. And it's essentially I'm going to show you in a second what it is, but it's essentially a Weather Channel. I'm spacing on the word I want to use, but it's like it's the Weather Channel, a version of it, a new version of it. So you could put this on like your computer. If you have a streaming device that has a web browser, you could put it on your television. I'm sure there's other ways to get on the TV, maybe with like a mini PC or whatever. But I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here. So, nope. Which one? This? That is not what I need. Alright, I actually have to add... Sorry, I'm going to add a new page really quick. Sorry, this is taking far too long for... Here we go. Alright. Boy, that was a bit much, wasn't it? So, let me get me out of there and make this a little bit bigger for you. Alright, so this is what we're looking at here. And it's just a web page, but you could like go in there and you could put your location, your exact location over in the bar, and then when you go down they have all the selections there. You could say like what kinds of forecasts you want. Maybe you don't want the travel forecast, for instance. You could get rid of that. You could put scan lines on or off. You could do widescreen or not widescreen, depending on what kind of, panel you're using. And then you just, well, it also has the music. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear the music, because I don't think I have that capturing. Maybe I do. And then you make it full screen, and it just, it plays through like any other weather channel, which I thought was super cool, like just for the nostalgia of it, you know what I'm saying? I had this playing on my television earlier while I was writing, just like in the background with the music playing. So that is one of them. Now, he says down here that if you want the even older version, see, it says here, not retro enough, try WeatherStar 3000 Plus, and you can go there, and it's this version that was a bit more basic. This is the type of weather station, that weather channel that came before the one we were just looking at. And then there is also a slightly more in-depth one. So these are super easy to use. I mean, it's just a web page, and you can kind of click on the stuff, and it's very easy to use. But if you go to his GitHub page and then check out his information, if you go down to the information about this, he does mention that there is a much more accurate project called the WS4000 Simulator. And if you click on that, you'll notice that it does look a little bit more accurate to what the weather channel used to look like, but further down you'll notice that it's a bit more, it's going to require a bit more patience and a bit more work on your part to go through and kind of like set it up the way you want it. And I'm not entirely sure if it is web-based or not. I haven't messed with this one. But that's there if you're interested in simulating the weather station, weather channel in a slightly more accurate version. And that is really all I wanted to show you today. Just mainly wanted to talk about Todd's book, and then had these other couple things that were on my mind, like, might as well mention it. So have a good day, everybody. I'm going to get back to writing, working on the next Retro Days script at the moment, and also trying to squeeze in a little novel writing time today. And I will be back to see you soon, I hope. Breathe deep in the night, everybody. Bye.